Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another review of the Korean drama King's Affection. Now for episode 8. They gave us a lot. They gave us TaeGam's backstory, GaOn's backstory, but just for a moment. And man, well, first, I know his name is TaeGam. I'm gonna stop calling him Lord Rudeness, even though he was rude at the beginning. But just seeing this episode, he went from Lord Rudeness to Mr. Misunderstood. Hey, what's up guys? Hey, before I begin the review, I just want to say this. Thank you so much for enjoying my videos. Don't forget to like my videos, comment down below, and overall, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you guys won't miss any new videos I upload pretty much every day. So at the beginning of the episode, right after Lee Hwi punches TaeGam, his dad was not happy and tells Lee Hwi, "I am so disappointed," and this led to Lee Hwi tearing up. Here comes JiWoon to pretty much comfort him, pat him on the back, hug him, pretty much to give him company. And this was a nice scene between these two characters. But what we didn't know during that moment, but we do find out a moment later, was that Eon was there. He was there watching these two. And Eon, he did show some jealousy. I mean, if you see the scene right after he was remembering that moment, he did clench his fist. And right after the altercation with the big dude with the big weapon and GaOn, which I will talk about in a moment, Eon made his move. And he says to Lee Hwi, if there's any problems, if there's any situation, remember, you have me. Then we get to the fight. Well, I should say the first fight. So first, TaeGam invites JiWoon, Lee Hwi, and the Vice Minister of Rights for a drink. The fact that TaeGam is inviting anyone, you already know something is up. And when Lee Hwi arrives there, the Vice Minister is not there. JiWoon is not there. It's just Lee Hwi and TaeGam. So already you should already have red alerts going off. And this is where TaeGam calls in the big dude with the big weapon, the same guy we saw in the trailer, and Lee Hwi not having any interest in whatever is going to happen and walks away with GaOn. TaeGam tells the big dude to attack, and the big dude attacks GaOn, and both GaOn and the big dude fight each other. Lee Hwi tries to intervene, and he did for a moment, but then the big guy ain't having it, tries to hit Lee Hwi with his weapon. But then, just like we saw in the trailer, GaOn grabs Lee Hwi, turns around, and then GaOn gets sliced in the back. Thankfully, JiWoon comes in. He arrives to stop the big guy, and he did. Lee Hwi, so upset, so angry that TaeGam would involve other people into their problems. And this is where TaeGam tells Lee Hwi what he wants from Joseon. Not gold, not the throne, but he wants people who were born with silver spoons in their mouths, act like they care about people. He wants to get them. And when I heard that at that moment, I knew for a fact that that relates to his backstory. And speaking of backstories, GaOn, he's being treated for his wound. He looks like he was sleeping a bit and he's having a nightmare. In his nightmare, we see a traitor named Kang Wagil is being executed, and we see a little kid sad, and I think the little kid was tearing up. So I'm assuming, this is just a guess, the traitor could be GaOn's teacher, father, or maybe a relative, and that kid could be GaOn himself. And that's all they showed us. So, man, GaOn, he has one dark backstory, pretty much like everybody else. Later on that night, we see JiWoon dressed in all black. He's following TaeGam, but then shortly after he gets found out, then we have a fight scene between JiWoon and TaeGam's goons. The goons, they got the upper hand. JiWoon, he got injured, but here comes Lee Hwi to join in to help. But then, let's switch scenes for a moment. We see TaeGam giving the concubine's father gold and tells him, don't ever use her to blackmail me ever again. The fact that TaeGam has a backstory involving a little girl, and back to their current time, he tells someone don't ever use the girl to blackmail him, you already know it involves that girl. And what makes it even more surprising, that girl is his daughter, not TaeGam, the dude that he gave gold to. Now back to the fight. Lee Hwi and JiWoon, they look like that they had the upper hand, but it was more goons than them. Here comes GaOn and the guards. The fight stops. The goons run away. TaeGam runs away as well. GaOn, he has his eyes on TaeGam. Because of TaeGam's behavior during his trip in Joseon, he has his eyes on him and he tells him, until you leave, security will be strengthened. And GaOn, he is that dude. Like seriously, he is that dude, but unfortunately, he's pretty much playing secondary character when it comes to the romance. Now it's time to get some information on why TaeGam was being threatened. So after Lee Hwi and JiWoon went to the store to grab some maps, I think there were some maps, to find out where would the concubine's father be at, and they found that he was in a gambling location. So JiLgum and JiWoon were there disguised, gambling with them. Here comes GaOn and his guards to pretty much have him run away, pretty much to get him alone so they can capture him. They do eventually capture him, but then some goons came and JiWoon tells GaOn and his guards, grab the concubine's father and go, I'm gonna handle the goons. And JiWoon, this is where he looks like a badass. You know, he held his own, but unfortunately, he got hurt. Here comes Lee Hwi and GaOn. Lee Hwi takes JiWoon and runs away. Now it's GaOn's turn to look like a badass, and he was. He held his own. He was taking out goons left and right. The final goon was the big dude earlier in this episode, and he got his rematch, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, and he won. Surprisingly, he didn't kill him. The next scene, we get a very cute moment as Lee Hwi was treating JiWoon's injury, but then the next scene after that, they got the concubine's father alone, they questioned him, and he sang like a bird. For those who don't know the meaning of sang like a bird, he basically told the truth. And then Lee Hwi invites TaeGam for a drink. Now, before I keep going, I just want to say something. Every time that they would have a drink with TaeGam involving food on the table, that means they have to throw it away if they don't touch it. Think about it. There's no refrigerator, there's no freezer back in those days. So the maids pretty much made all those food for nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure some people ate it, maybe the maids, maybe someone else, but it's just a waste. But what if no one's hungry? I mean, then you gotta throw it away again. No fridge, no freezer. So the maids just made all of that for nothing. I'm just saying, I mean, they had a lot of meetings with TaeGam and there were food on the table which nobody touched. So first, Lee Hwi revealed the ledger that had all of the records of TaeGam's management of the Emperor's private asset. Now Lee Hwi is doing the blackmailing. Lee Hwi basically want to know what TaeGam is hiding. And this is where we find out all of TaeGam's backstories. So first, the concubine's father. The concubine's father sold his daughter and bargained her life while threatening TaeGam for money. And the daughter lives with the emperor. Not only that, TaeGam loves his daughter. And that daughter is also the little girl from TaeGam's flashback story. Now that was the story between TaeGam and the girl. Now for TaeGam's backstory, he was abandoned. He was sold off by his parents. And the reason why he hates people who were born with a silver spoon in their mouths was because when he was abandoned, he was poor. They basically treated him as trash. But he worked hard. He made it up the ladder. And he hates people who treated him nicely because of his current position. So everything, all of his actions, all of his hatred, it makes total sense. And yeah, he is misunderstood. And Lee Hwi, no. Not Lee Hwi, Dami. She understands his position. She can relate because Dami was also abandoned. It wasn't TaeGam's choice to be abandoned. It wasn't Dami's choice to be abandoned. So Dami can relate. When Lee Hwi was showing sympathy towards him, that wasn't Lee Hwi, in my opinion. That was Dami. To end off their conversation, Lee Hwi did apologize and tells them that all of your secrets will be taken to the grave with them. And as TaeGam was leaving the palace, you can see as he was looking back, there was a full understanding between both TaeGam and Lee Hwi, and most likely, I think so, but most likely that he'll come back and help Lee Hwi in whatever huge situation happens in future episodes. So yeah, TaeGam went from Lord Rudeness to EI. Then we get to the final scene of this episode. It's right after Lee Hwi, Eun, and JiWoon drank. So Lee Hwi, she was walking at night. She went to the same spot where a young Dami and a young JiWoon first met. She was surprised to see JiWoon there and vice versa. And Lee Hwi, he lied, saying that I happened to find this place. But JiWoon, he told the truth. He said that me and the girl that he liked were the only ones that knew about this spot. And before the special moment that happened at the end, JiWoon asked Lee Hwi, so how come you didn't expose TaeGam? This is where Lee Hwi pretty much just says, hearing his story broke his heart, and he can relate pretty much. But then, after that, not on the lips, but on the cheek, JiWoon, I think he was still a little tipsy, but yeah, he kissed Lee Hwi on the cheek, and that's it. What a way to end the episode. This was another good episode. They gave us 2 backstories. For GaOn, they kind of did, but they didn't reveal a lot. We do know a traitor was being executed. I think that little boy in that nightmare or flashback, whatever you want to call it, is GaOn. And yeah, I want to know more. And GaOn is now one of the characters with a dark past. And yeah, again, I want to know more. For TaeGam, we finally know his backstory, his full backstory on why he's acting so rude, why he was so disrespectful during his trip to the palace. And it makes sense. I mean, think about it. They treated him like trash when he was poor. We saw a flashback of him getting beaten by 3 dudes because they knew his past. They treated him like trash. And then now he's in a good position at the palace, and now they're treating him nicely and they're treating him like he's on a pedestal. So it makes sense why this whole thing is just fueling that anger he has. Bringing in a character like TaeGam, well, at first, man, I hated him because he was so rude, so disrespectful, and now towards the end of this episode, you know, he's a cool dude. But all joking aside, bringing in a character like TaeGam with that type of backstory, he's pretty much the only character that can relate to not Lee Hwi, but Dami. They both were abandoned as kids, and their lives changed because of other people's decision. It wasn't Dami's choice to be abandoned as an infant. It wasn't her choice to have her brother killed and disguise as her brother and become the crown prince. Just like with TaeGam, all of his life choices was not his choice. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the episode and my review. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. I want to know what you guys thought about this episode and if you guys had a change of heart towards TaeGam like I did. Other than that, if you like this episode, if you like this video, well, if you do like the episode, give it a thumbs up. But if you like this video, click on the like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.